How you doing, Pisces? So, let's get right into this with the Celtic cross for you, Pisces. Moving away from something unfulfilling. Moving towards something that you're unsure of the outcome or where it will go, but you have a dream of something in particular, or if not going towards something in particular, leaving something that is so unfulfilling for you that you feel that there's not much to stick around for or stay. Leaving a commitment. They could have Taurus within their chart. This could be a marriage, a long-term relationship, a family, or possibly even a job. Could be a job with the government or state. But let's see. But you're definitely leaving something, either a commitment or an organization. What's your foundation? The Celtic cross. Give me the rest of the Celtic cross for Pisces. Oh my. Okay. Your foundation. Page of Cups in reverse. This can be a card of an inappropriate lover. This is someone who whispers sweet nothings and pillow talks, but yet is not there in the morning when you wake up. This is someone who lacks commitment, integrity, but it can be someone who's very charming, he or she, someone who can seem very playful, someone who's very fun, who possibly has a lot of friends or, has an active social life, because it seems like people like this spread themselves really thin, whether it's like a large social life or many, many friends or tons and tons of hobbies that keeps them busy enough so they don't have to feel stuck to any one person or situation in too deep of a way. The past is the Hierophant in reverse. Perhaps you felt like secrets came out, things that were hidden. Perhaps you feel like you weren't listening to your intuition, and there was a need to listen to your intuition. Then perhaps there was red flags that you tend to ignore, or you had suspicions but yet you didn't really voice them. But whatever those suspicions were, or the situation, the secrets came out, which caused you to no longer want to invest in this situation, this union or job or person or situation in general. 5, your goals, your conscious awareness, the best that can be accomplished at present. Your goals, the Magician. You're looking to manifest. This is putting one hand up into the sky, the other into the earth, drawing energy from both into manifesting your wishes around you. You or the other person could have Virgo within their chart, Taurus, Pisces. I see strong Virgo here. But you're manifesting, you're bringing something into existence. and you want to work towards those goals. You found towards yourself and the situation that you finally want to work on things that actually will give you a good outcome or a reciprocal outcome. And it's something in particular because you need intention to manifest. You need effort, intention, planning. He's using the tools around him to create the particular manifestation that he wants. And this is your ultimate goal. You're wishing, you're manifesting a new state of being, a new life, something that's a lot more fulfilling than what you left behind. Your future. What is right before you? King of Wands. So this is you getting your fire back. This is you getting in control of your impulses, your emotions, and you're starting to direct that fire into more useful means, more productive means. This is you getting control of yourself and your emotions before possibly you were confused about the situation because things were being kept in the dark. Perhaps there is a good amount of gaslighting with, or secrets being kept. And you feel like the environment that you were in became too heavy and rigid, and whoever you were dealing with, this was somebody that was quite overbearing and controlling. It could be possibly a father figure or parent, mother or father. Possibly these are false beliefs set up, like values that you learned from your family members. If it ever instilled that you weren't enough or you had to work extra hard for love that should be freely given, kind of that inner critic within yourself that holds you back, self-limiting beliefs put upon you by family of origin, and you're deciding to walk away from all of that because they weren't looking out for your best interest. Perhaps they did gaslight you a lot. Perhaps they come out to try to reel you in with the honey trap, but then the moment that you're there, you're within like a spider's den, that they slowly consume you. And you have people who want to continue to lord over you and control you. It could even be a toxic boss. Maybe this is like a dynamic that you found yourself coming over and over again within a job situation, environment, within a family unit, within a school, within your friends groups. There would always be people around who try to lord over you. Perhaps you have had these control issues yourself, and it's something that you need to be aware over. What situations that you inherently try to control to your detriment. Like, is it the family members that you have around? Is it your children? Is it your relationships? Perhaps it's a situation that comes and shows itself to you over and over again because it's needing you to see a pattern and listen to your intuition more. Why is it that you meet the same kind of person over and over again? And what is it about you that attracts these people or stays for as long as you do? And, you know, perhaps you've known these people for a long time. 8 or 10 might be a significant number. Perhaps these are just those embedded self-limiting beliefs and these values that wasn't even yours, that was put upon you to limit you in some way. And you would always find a certain amount of rejection in these situations because you never really felt accepted, because the dynamic didn't allow it to, because that's how they were able to keep you under control, is to lord over you. And these people, it's like you see now, by the light of the moon shines within the darkness, you see the truth of who these people are and how much power that you actually gave away towards people who weren't looking out for your best interest, people who didn't offer you the same value or commitment or even friendship or companionship. But now you're casting off these chains of like oppression, you know, because what you reject or what was it that saying? There's a Carl Jung saying. He says, oppression, it's about judging your brother and not fully accepting the other. And those who do that, they put judgment upon them. And judgment does not save a person. It doesn't liberate. Rejection and oppression, whatever we reject stays, and judgment only causes oppression, because what we oppress, it does not liberate. It actually keeps you in that oppression because it's something that you didn't see or didn't want to see at the time, because you rejected the thought that you actually had a lot more power within the situation than you ever could imagine you did. But for some reason, you felt obliged to give it away, but this could be due to like conditioning. Maybe you had overbearing parents, which I could see the High Priestess in reverse. This is mother issues. This is someone who can be like a spiritual or religious narcissist, someone who is ultra religious but yet uses that strict regulations and rules as more of a control tactic than it is like a devotion. And ultimately, it skewed a sense of yourself and your self-worth because you weren't treated as an individual or allowed to develop your own personality or skill sets. Every aspect seemed controlled. And now you're casting off those chains to get the fire back. The King of Wands. You are much more controlled. You are focused into directing that explosive energy because you're through with having those that oppress you. You're through having your soul chipped away little by little every day until you question yourself completely about every little thing that you would feel dependent on the people around you that use you or you're going towards your autonomy and you're finding your passion and you're finding your own light and you're trying to find your own way. You're going to carve out your own path, a path that was not followed by many, but a path to find yourself and divinity and purpose and your own inner light and magic, because as you can see, every time that you would think that you're in some kind of reciprocal exchange within a unit, you tend to attract a lot of people who didn't offer much in return and instead became a party to a little more of that soul death every day. And staying in an unfulfilling situation, it is akin to a soul death. And you're no longer willing to give away that life force, and it's time for you to sit within yourself and go through this dark night of the soul. It's walking away from all of these self-limiting beliefs about yourself, this inner critic that was put in your head, and you're trying to find out, who are you really? What is it that you offer the world? And what is your true purpose within this life that the divine has given for you within this incarnation? You're not speaking. You are protecting yourself and your dreams and whatever you are manifesting. And it is confusing people. Your environment, your home, your surroundings, family, loves, friends, work, that which is outside of yourself, and how others perceive you. So, your environment, people feel confused about you. They are unsure of what to expect with you because before they may have had free access to you and your energy for so long that now you took your power back and you're harboring all of that within yourself and only for yourself. They're left scrambling and confused as to what happened because in a way they don't see their part of the situation. They don't see their folly. They were just maintaining the status quo. And that's how unaware that the people and situation that you are, that's possibly why they would come back asking for things or like assistance or all of this stuff after so long of keeping you in the dark, of manipulating you and trying to oppress you and pull these power hungry and power control and dynamic games on you. And now that they are confused, they're unsure of what to make of it, that now they're left wondering, have I gone too far? What are my options now? Perhaps they are scrambling to find out their next move. These people are going through a large change within their lives after that you walked away. And they feel that they have a lot of things to do, a lot of options, but they feel lost. He, whatever, but they're left scrambling, confused, leaving them to deal with their own things and their own responsibilities, because they know how much heavier it is now that they don't have somebody to pick up all of their burdens. You're moving away from this Hierophant or this Taurus, people who just want to lord over you and confuse you. Your hopes and fears of attaining the goal, the lesson to be learned, blocking your development. It's time for you to be a lot more deliberate and aware of the people that you have around you, of the people that you were dealing with, regardless if you've had history with them. What did they show you throughout history-wise? Has they constantly been lying, cheating, or taking advantage of you? You have to be aware that not everyone is your friends, and it sucks when you awaken to a certain point to realize not only your part that you play into staying for as long as you did and victimizing yourself, but also what was it that was put in your head that made you think that you deserved it in some way, which you didn't. And now it's needing to think in a more logical, planned out way, to learn by history. And the King of Swords, this is a very intelligent, intuitive, aware king, whether it is a female or male. You could have Aquarius within your chart, or Libra, or whatever, but this is like that lawyer, this is that judge. You are judging things given the history and logic, and you're needing to make a more logical decision on who you allow around you and into your life, and because it's either a reciprocal exchange of energy or it's one party feeding off the other. And unfortunately, you were more fed upon within the dynamics like this. And the only way to play and win in situations like this is to not play the game, right? The outcome, what you will gain from this experience, the reward, the quality or tool that will help you achieve a breakthrough. 7 of Wands. A lot of times the way people try to rope you in is to try to make you fight. They would know your weak spots and your strong feelings about certain things, and you feel like you had to prove your worth, or you had to prove your point, or you had to prove your argument that this is why I'm important. And now it's knowing that there's some things that you shouldn't put your energy into because it's not going to give you any like valuable outcomes, you know, in terms of like business. I mean, it's a bad investment. You're gonna fight with a bunch of people even on things that you know is right, telling a bunch of people who refuse to even listen to your side of view. And even if they did listen to your side of view, they're not going to see it because they'll never own up to their responsibility from it and their part. You got a lot of self-centered people here because they're just trying to worry about what they need to get done and what they want to get done and the options that they have. And it was no problem for them to come to you to pick up the slack for what they needed because they were so self-centered that they never in their moment thought that maybe you needed help too. Maybe you had some worth as well. Maybe you need, you know, and you were here left fighting the battle on your own. And while you were trying to pick up their responsibility, while they were not trying to offer anything in return as an equal exchange, and instead act like they're entitled to all of your energy and resources, and make you feel small and belittle you and lord over you. This could easily be an overbearing parent or boss or some kind of organization that you feel totally victimized at, but it's important to accept your part within this as well. Where was it in me that I allowed this to go on for as long as it did? Where is it in me that I feel a lack of self-worth, that I had to continue to try to prove my worth and point and my value to somebody, that it took almost everything out of you to realize that it's like a dead end and you won't reap any benefits? And who exactly put that into your head to make you feel like you have to work for love that should have been freely given? And I could see really toxic parent figures here. Perhaps a toxic mother, Pisces. Perhaps a Taurus father. Someone possibly in some kind of government. But these are very controlling, overbearing people. And they used any means of control as necessary to keep feeding off of you, regardless if it affected you mentally or emotionally in many detrimental ways. But now you're starting to see this and you're claiming your power back, and you have a whole new insight on who is not even worth having that conversation or fighting with or standing up. It's like, yeah, you have a belief that, you know, the sky is green. Okay, sure. You're right, the sky is green. You know, you win. Because how much more time are you saving trying to prove that the sky is blue to this person when they are just trying to keep you there just to talk in order to feed energy off of you? If that makes sense. What is unknown? You are trying to, Two of Wands, you're trying to build something, you're trying to expand on something in particular, possibly a new business, a new job, a new move possibly. Maybe you're looking to relocate, or you would like to, but, or even just trying to expand on a vocation or career path that perhaps it could feel kind of overwhelming to try to juggle it all, and it's important not to overwork yourself, Pisces, because there could be an ill health if you don't spread your energy in a more healthy way, that you won't overwork yourself to sickness. In this way, it's like slow and steady. When it's a race, you have a goal, you have the attention, you have the fire within you to do it, nurture it, and be careful not to hyper focus on one area that the other will completely fall apart. It's having that balance. I will give you advice, Pisces. Think. So it's time for you to contemplate life. The universe is putting you on a holding situation. It's putting you right down and say you think about yourself and what you did, where you're going, you know. And that's how I see COVID, as like to the masses, like they're telling us as like the masses as children, and they've been naughty. Now you go in your room and you think about what you've done. And possibly this has been a whole COVID thing where they're sending us to our rooms to make us think, contemplate. And perhaps you've done this too long, and perhaps the time to think is coming to an end. That you have been nurturing something or an idea or a goal for so very long, that you kind of like, I don't know, a choice. You've been hindering on it. You've been letting it consume you to the point, and it's important not to allow yourself to get into this analysis paralysis. And all of the things that you have goals to go towards and do is not being done, and all you feel is that nervous energy and anxiety into that you're not doing anything. It doesn't have to be like you have to do everything at once and do everything at once. Just take it little at a time and do what you can when you're able to, and don't get overwhelmed when you're not as productive as you think that you should be, because this is something that will take a while. This is something that's going to take a lot of work. Part of it is walking away from old self-limiting beliefs and habits, and that feeling of possibly doubting yourself and your abilities. It's time to leave all of that behind, because you are self-sabotaging yourself in ways that will keep you stuck. And possibly these are unconscious beliefs that these people have put into you, that like a fear of failure, that perhaps that you're not good enough or as good as everybody else, but you are as good, and you are talented, and you work damn hard for everything that you did. You just have to commit to putting the work in and starting it in order for you to keep that momentum and confidence up. Because sitting where you are and where they, you know, from leaving a situation without going towards your goals, or, you know, it's, where does that leave you? It leaves you stuck and feeling like you're in a rut, and not to rush yourself too much and to expect a bunch of huge results because out of nowhere, because you take that as a sign of your own lack, but it's not. It's just a test into improving your skills and your resiliency with whatever you're going towards, because whatever idea that you have close to heart, that you have a gift of doing, an inclination, and that you're willing to work for as long as you could decide to do it and put the work in consistently, then you'll start to see blessings being gifted to you by the universe. Perhaps you kept these people around for so very long because you thought you couldn't do it yourself, but you can. Because every time you brought somebody in who you thought would lighten the load ended up only contributing to the load. It's time for you to take action. The Yang. This is action. This is going towards. This is doing. This is creating with fire. This is the the divine masculine. It's time for you to reconnect with that divine masculine, that fire, this action, this doing. Because that's how you're going to bring fairness to yourself. Because you had been spreading yourself too thin with other people's responsibilities and agendas that you have not been able to work on what you needed to do. And this is a really good start to cutting out the people who drain you so you could have some left within yourself. It's important for you to be fair and to look at the situations in a fair way. Not only what they have done to you or what the situations have done to you, but what have you contributed to the situations to keep it going. Because we can't be just victims within the situation. We all have parts to play, and if you are a party to the other part, which creates the conflict, then you are part of that problem. You're 50% of that problem, the other person's 50. And you could say, no, it's them, it's not me. Well, if you're sitting there arguing with them continuously and not focusing on what you need to do, then perhaps it is a little bit more of a problem that you contributed to it than you thought you did. And how much action did you put into your goals and your dreams of what you wanted to do, and the lack of action that was put into it because of a feeling of being not good enough, or that lack of confidence, or a fear of failure. It's time to let go of these limiting beliefs, because the moment you put in the work in, the universe will meet you halfway. And as soon as you start to put the work in and energy into your ultimate goal, you'll feel the fire returning to you, and your karmic blessings will come in. And so will peace within your life, and an overall feeling of well-being without that anxious feeling of not doing what you were meant to do. But that's what I got for you, Pisces. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. There's a donation box below, and sometimes I leave extra notes if I channel anything extra. Much love and light to you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.